Hi everybody. This video is a little different from usual. It's I'm gonna be honest, it's just me rambling for about close to 20 minutes. Yeah. Now, I've been wanting to make a video like this for a long time, but never did I think that this would be the reason I'm making this video. Hi, name's Chris Blue. Nice to meet you. Failed YouTuber and professional dumbass here. Now, if you weren't already well aware, Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, Dr. Slump, Sandland, Jack of the Galactic Patrolman, as well as the illustrator for many other popular video game franchises such as Dragon Quest, Chrono Trigger, Blue Dragon, etc., has passed away. And honestly, even though a day has passed since I heard the news, I'm still finding it it's still hard for me to find words to describe how I'm feeling about this at all, you know. When I heard the news, it was from a friend, a text that I got. And the initial text just read as, "Did you hear the news?" And me, I'm thinking it's gonna be good news. I'm like, oh shit, you mean Persona is actually going to be in a Fortnite collab or something like that? That's what I initially thought. I was like thinking of good news. And then she sent me the note that was on Twitter and on Toriyama's website. And I just sat in my car, just got back from work, just arrived home, did not leave the car. I just sat there in silence for a good 10 minutes. Half of those 10 minutes, not even looking at my phone, just staring off into the distance, thinking, no, there's no way. There's no way he's gone. And I went to bed almost immediately after entering my house because I just didn't know what to think. Dragon Ball and Akira has been a huge inspiration and a huge part of my life since I was a toddler, pretty much. It's been in my life from the very beginning. Toriyama was someone who I saw as an inspiration. When I wrote my own stories, I wanted to write stories that were just as popular as his. When I would try to draw, my original art style, or back when I used to draw as a kid, I used to always mimic his art style. To the point that even today, when I draw my own original characters or I draw my avatar, you'll notice that the hair is pretty large, which is pretty much coming from my inspiration of Dragon Ball. And, well, forgive me, there's gonna be a lot of pauses because there's a lot of, I'm just struggling to come up with words. So, I can remember back, I was probably like 5, 6 years old, maybe even like 4 years old. My first introduction to Dragon Ball was my cousin, when I used to go over my cousin's house, and we would play Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 on his silver PlayStation that he spray painted himself. And we would just play that, and I didn't understand what the heck was going on, but I was having fun shooting fireballs at people. It got to the point that when I got my own PlayStation 2, the first game that I ever got, aside from those like old ATV games that I don't even know if they still make anymore, but the first game that I ever got was my own copy of Budokai 2. And I didn't even have a memory card when I got that game. I played the game, and I would leave the PlayStation 2 on, because if I shut that system off, I would have to restart the entire game all over again. And I did not get a memory card for like another year, so it was definitely a time. There were points that I left my PlayStation 2 on for an entire week with the TV off, so it would look like it was off, but I would leave the PlayStation 2 running the entire time, just so that the next time I played it, I still had everything that I unlocked. And I was still through the story. I was still like where I left off in the story. It was not the best idea when it comes to conserving electricity, but I was a kid. I thought this was the best idea ever. I don't have to shut this off. There's nothing that can go wrong, right? But yeah, I spent a lot of my childhood playing that game, making it all the way to Kid Buu eventually, and getting my ass beat repeatedly by Kid Buu. That voice line will always live rent-free in my head. Now, as a man in his 20s, I'm not ashamed to say that I was a pretty weird kid, and Dragon Ball did not help, but as a kid, I did not care, and now as an adult, I do not care. I was the kid that would do random Ginyu Force poses in class for no other reason to be like, hey, check out this new pose I learned how to do. I was definitely a wacky one back in the day, and still am now. And yeah, Dragon Ball has just been something that I've always loved, and even for years to come, it'll be something that I will continue to love. If I ever have kids or grandkids, I swear I am going to have them watch Dragon Ball just so they can experience my childhood, what made me who I am today. And that's pretty much it. Dragon Ball is a big part of what made me who I am today. And not only me, but made the childhoods of thousands, millions, if not billions of people across the globe. And one man was responsible for all of that. And that's nothing short of amazing. It's not an understatement to say that if he wasn't around and if he didn't make the manga that he did, whether it was Dr. Slump, whether it was Dragon Ball, then a lot of other popular manga and other popular anime probably would not reach the West as easily, or rather, like, would not even be made in general, possibly, or if they were made, would not be the same as what we got, because Dragon Ball was just had that much of an influence, just had that much of an impact on many other mangaka, on different writers, whether it be for comics, whether it be for television, whether it be for other manga. just he was responsible for a lot. Whether it was like he made, it's like a lot of people. He didn't just make other people's childhoods. He made people's professions. He made people's livelihoods. He made like fun parts of people's teenage years. Like whether it's people who make music and reference Dragon Ball, whether it's a content creator like Rhymestyle, Syriax, Dado Doya, and them playing Dragon Ball games together. Whether it's Dragon Ball parodies, whether it's fan art, fan manga, fan animations, one man was responsible for creating such a massive community across the world. An amazing community. And whether you have me, a guy who nobody really knows, let's be honest, my channel isn't exactly well known amongst the populace, but if it weren't for Dragon Ball, then I wouldn't have strived to be as creative, whether it would be in my writing, whether it be in my music, whether it be in my art or my drawings, or in my editing, or just the games that I play. It's no secret that I played a lot of Dragon Ball games, I played a lot of anime games, and that's because it had such an impact on me. Like, this is a franchise that if you don't know who Dragon Ball is, if you don't know what Dragon Ball is, then shame on you. You should pick up you should pick up the manga and read it. Okay? Or if you don't want to read, I don't know, watch Dragon Ball Kai or something. It helps. But it actually brings to a funny point, because if I mentioned earlier that I was a wacky kid, and I was made fun of a lot for that. And so my friends, acquaintances or people who didn't like me back in like elementary school or middle school, sometimes even high school, I don't know. High school it's like not as bad as middle school. I don't know. Children are rough. But anyway, in like elementary school, middle school, people would make fun of me for watching Dragon Ball or watching Naruto, stuff like that. And everybody would always watch their own. So everybody else was watching like Family Guy or South Park or all those shows, and here I was, the one guy who was watching Dragon Ball. And people are just like, oh, but Dragon Ball's it's one of those kid shows. It's like Pokemon, right? And I'm just like, no. Like, Goku got a hole blasted through his chest in like episode 2, but that's not the point. The funny thing is that even after all these years, it was when I was in college, I just randomly got a text message from it was my sophomore year in college. I got a text message from one of my old classmates, and who was my classmate from like elementary school to high school. And he was one of the kids who, while he wasn't like a guy who hated me or anything, he still made fun of me for watching Dragon Ball back when I was a kid. And I got a text message from him in my sophomore year in college asking me, hey, do you know when the Broly movie's coming out? And I had to take a double take on my phone, look at it, and I was like, wait a minute, is that Hunter? He's asking me for a like, it was such a shock, but it just goes to show just how impactful his work could be, how impactful his work was. to not just me, but to other people. It's like new and old. Dragon Ball had that much of an impact, and Toriyama had that much of an impact. Not just in like the manga industry or the anime industry, but industries all around. And that's why it's such a shame that this man is now gone. This is like you know how we all felt when we lost Steven Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob? Like, it was a super sad. He was the childhood of many people, of many kids, 90s kids, 2000s kids in America. And everybody was sad when he passed. This is pretty much like feeling that type of sadness again for me. This is like losing a second Steven Hillenburg. This is... man. And it sucks. This man was so... He was like so excited for so many projects that he was working on. As shy as the guy seemed, he just seemed like such a great man, and such a man who is like very passionate about his work. Even if he was forgetful at times, he still like had a passion for the things he created. And it's just sad to see him go. I can only hope... No, I know that he's in a better place now. And may he rest in peace. Toriyama-san, thank you for everything. For making me the man that I am today, and providing me and others with stories that we will remember forever. I can't thank you enough for that.